And the other way, one backwards, one forward. Have a quick practice, okay? We're very honoured this evening to have a very special guest joining us. Every month we do like to invite a guest speaker to come along and share a little bit of inspiration with you. And today's no exception. We have a fantastic speaker lined up. He's going to be sharing a masterclass on body language and micro-expressions. So, he's going to be teaching you how to spot lying and deception. Here's micro-expressions and body language expert Craig James Baxter.
Now, I've got a very loud voice, so I don't need the mic. How many of you got an interest in body language?
Oh, yes.
Everybody. And how many people got an interest in lying and deception? Well, like I said, my name is Craig. I'm the co-host of allaboutbodylanguage.com. Make sure you check it out after this presentation. So what we're going to learn today is about the truth about lying and deception and how to read people's thoughts, expressions and gestures and things like that. So, we'll get started. So, I don't know how much you know about body language. Well, we'll start. So what is body language? So people shout out anything they want. I'm going to be a lot talking today about what I used to talk about. So what is body language? Yo!
Every action, facial expression.
All those mannerisms, yeah. There you go. Very good. So the next mannerisms, gestures, expressions, anything else?
A social statement.
A social statement. Very good. A social statement. Very good.
Communication.
Communication. Verbal or non-verbal?
Non-verbal.
Oh. What did I say? Nice. Anything else? No? So it's all about how we send and receive wordless messages. Think about that. Is that right? Is that a good statement? How we send and receive wordless messages? Very good. Pretty good? Good. Okay, so like we discussed before about movements, gestures, expressions, micro-expressions. Who's heard of those? Hands. Where have you heard them from? TV? Which program in particular? Lie to Me. Lie to Me. Who's watched Lie to Me? Oh, very good. Very good. What about mannerisms? What are these? What are mannerisms? Yeah, very good. So it's repeated change of movement which is specific to you. What are your mannerisms? What are your mannerisms? What do you do all the time? You must have something you do, no? My favourite one's this one. And Mrs. always talks about it. Whenever I'm happy, I start touching my nose. That's my mannerism. What about speech tones? Are they important as well?
Yes.
Yeah. How? How are they important? Yeah. So how you deliver your voice. That's why I don't need a microphone. I can deliver. So these all have very certain and specific meanings. And one of the main areas that people fall down on in body language is they don't understand the hidden meanings behind certain gestures and expressions and movements. And that's what I'm here to talk to you about today, about understanding these hidden movements that you see all day, every day, but you have no idea what they mean. So, with that in mind, like we discussed before, about paralinguistic communication. NLP, study of neurolinguistics, talking about paralanguage, which is the speed, tone, volume, and pitch. Now, why is that important? Why is that important to understand about paralinguistic communication? How would you break a bereavement to somebody? Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. So you'd use a very slow, soft speed. If you just got a promotion at work, what would you be doing? There you go, yeah. Really excited there, really good. Very good. So again, these all have certain meanings and movements about them as well. So it's all about understanding the hidden meanings behind what we see. So as well as talking today about lying and deception, I'm also going to be covering things like pictures. We're going to look at analysing some pictures. I'm going to reveal some things about emblems, gestures, illustrators, and deceptions. So, with that in mind, before we start with the lying and deception, what's happening here? Very good, right. Just have a couple of minutes, have a look at that, and see if you can spot the big thing that woman's doing. Oh, right, she's pointing. What else she's doing? Glaring at him. Threatening. Is that a comfort display or a discomfort display? Very good, right. Let's start with this chap here. What do you notice about his expression? Terrified. How do you know he's terrified? Eyebrows. Yeah, what are eyebrows doing? Oh, very good. Excellent. Very good. Shoulders. What are his shoulders doing? Yeah, what's his head doing? Very good. Anyone know what that expression is called? Very good. The turtle effect. Very, very good. Excellent. What about this lady? What's she doing? He looks a bit bewildered. Okay, what else is he doing? Leaning back. Anyone know what that's called? Leaning. Very good. It's called a gestural retreat. We lean against things we don't like, we lean towards things we do like.
What's it called? I can't hear what it's saying.
What about this here? What's that called?
Warning. What's the
Warning, yeah, very good. Anything else? No one's actually mentioned it yet. It's the first group points in. Possibly. It's what? A gun. Brilliant. It's a gun. And this is called an emblem. That is called an emblem. It's making the gun gesture towards it. And emblems carry a very specific meaning. So this is an example of an emblem. Like this is an emblem. What does that mean? Hey? Hailing a car. White. Bottle. What's that one? Waving goodbye. That's an emblem again. So you don't need me to describe what these kind of things are. So this is an example of an emblem. So how is he taking the news? No. So we're seeing a classic discomfort context here as well. We can see also the whiteness of the eyes, up the iris here, which again is a classic example of fear, which we're going to cover shortly as well. So that's a good opening picture to get your understanding about body language, and especially things you might not understand about emblems. So next time you see someone doing this, or that, or this, or any kind of gestural movement, it's an emblem, doesn't need any words to describe what's going on. So with that in mind, let's move on to lying and deception, why I'm here. So, emotional states of lying. Now there are 3 emotions a liar must feel to become detectable. Now what must these emotions be? So if I'm looking for signs of someone is lying, like verbal and visual cues, there needs to be 3 emotions associated with it. Any idea? Guilt. Guilt. Fear. One more. No. Shame. Anything else? Remorse. Anyone down there? Excitement. Deceit. Yeah, do you know the first one? Yep, so we said before about liars got to experience 1 of 3. Yeah, guilt. What's guilt? Remorse. Yeah, I feel really terrible. I shouldn't have done that. Very good. A liar will also experience fear. Why will they experience fear? Yeah. Ready getting caught, exactly right. And the next one, before I move on, no one's got it yet. Pressure, possibly. Anything else? It's not exactly an emotion, pressure. It's not a specific emotion. Pardon? Reward. Reward. Not quite.
Anger.
Anger. Anybody else?
Self-preservation.
Self-preservation. Why would a liar feel delight? Right. Very good. Wonderful. So like we said before, if a liar does not experience any of these emotions, the chances of you ascertaining the truth are pretty much 0. And this includes white lies. Now what are white lies? They're okay? Okay. What was the last white lie you told? Generally we take 3 a day, by the way. I've already told people today. Really enjoy something. What's a white lie? Give me an example of a white lie.
Saying something wrong with what you're trying to say somewhere else.
Very good, exactly. Very good. How
Right.
many biscuits you have? Yes, very good. Yeah, that's 3. Yeah, my missus goes out, buys a new dress, comes home. I'm not digging this. That's awesome. Like, yeah, no, I've got that. Great. So there you go. So these examples of white lies. Again, so white lies, you're not going to experience guilt, fear, or delight. So, with that in mind, have a look at about guilt. Okay, so a lie or fear of remorse about wrongdoing which is a detrimental effect on their target. Again, everyone knows about the guilt aspect of lying. Who's told a really big lie recently? Your eyebrows are going mad, what's coming? Yeah, so guilt, pretty much the obvious one. Okay, so we're talking about high stakes lies. So these are the ones that carry greater consequences if you get caught. So what's an example of a high stakes lie? Anyone?
Infidelity.
Infidelity, good. Very good. Being accused of the oath.
But it could be something on your CV that you haven't got.
Possibly. What about theft at work? High stakes? Yeah. What about murder? Definitely. And these are examples of high stakes lies, again, which guilt will come into. If there's a consequence of getting caught, the person will experience guilt. But if there's no real consequence, like a white lie, there's going to be no guilt flashed. So with that in mind, we'll go on to the next one. We're talking about fear, which everyone gets right, about the fear of getting caught or an impending punishment drives this emotional state. Now we're talking about NLP. What physiological state do we get into when we feel fear? Any idea?
Fight or flight.
Ah, very good. Let's talk about the fight or flight. So what do you know about the fight or flight response? If someone came in here now, walked across here with a shotgun, what would you all do? Freeze. That's the first thing you will do. You'll freeze. Right, then what will you do? You'll panic. Good. So we're talking about our classic limbic response, which is a fight, flight, or fight response. Talking about limbic system. So he comes in here with a shotgun, we all freeze. What's the next chain? What do we do next? The adrenaline kicks in, then what are we going to do next?
Run or fight.
That's exactly what you're going to do. So your limbic response works in three ways. First you freeze, then you run, then what else do you do? You can't run away from the threat, what do you do then? Fight. Right. You can't get out of this habit. I recently, last week, actually went to go and watch a kickboxing event in Athens for the first time. And they would see these two young ladies fighting for the big heavyweight championship. And one lady was getting absolutely hammered. And that's because she wasn't in the fight response yet. It's not exactly a trigger you can consciously control. It's like pupil dilation. You can't change it. It's part of your autonomic nervous system. And this lady was getting absolutely hammered. And she came to the corner on the second round, and her nose was absolutely bloodshot. It just got open. And I said to my partner, Richard or whatever, I said, in a minute she's going to come out and she's going to be in the fight response. Because she's seen her own blood, the old expression, she's tasted her own blood. Next thing she comes out and she absolutely destroyed her opponent. And that's because she went from the flight response, get away, get away, get away, taste the blood, and she was in. Well, the psychological aspect of fear increases everything: heart rate, breathing rate, elevation in pupil dilation, blinking rate, things like that. So that drives the fear response about getting caught. Again, like we said before about these high-stakes lies will carry a greater punishment. These are detectable things. So, also about the social impacts of being caught in a lie. What about the social impacts of a lie? A big lie, maybe a criminal record. What are the social impacts of that? Devastating. Who thought?
You, your family.
You, your family, your friends, yeah. Might restrict you from getting a job, criminal record, things like that. So you've got to think about that fear response, about the fear of the punishment, fear about the ramifications. So the next one. So again, also interested about the level of fear will increase if they know that their target is adept in like action. Now, how many of you would say you're adept in like action? Oh, very good. Excellent. So what are your secrets, my friend, at the back? What are your secrets in like action?
Well, I've got a lifetime of it with me two sisters, so I'll know them.
Right. Very good. Yeah. So people's fear increase, especially when they're talking to the police. Now, who's here has been interviewed by the police and turned out they've done absolutely? What about being pulled over at the side of the road on one night? How nervous are you? Very, very nervous. I've done it a few times as well. See, your fear state will dramatically increase if you know that someone is quite good at body language and reading those non-verbal cues. Now then, the next one, which everyone knows, yes, is delight. So why would someone feel delighted about lying?
Got one over on me.
Got one over on you, very good. Let's say, for instance, that I have just stolen 25 quid from work. I feel really good about it. And they say, look at that room start. So I'm walking around, and the next thing you you know, the boss approached me, asked me, do you know what's going on? Do you know who stole my money? I'm like, no, I don't know who. I think it was him over here. Next thing I know, he's getting investigated, and they're ringing the police about this guy. Where in fact, I stole the money. So I'm going to feel delight, massive delight, that I've got away with the lie, and my level of acting didn't arouse suspicion in my boss. So that is why a liar will feel delight. And this is one of the most reliable indicators of deceit, which is delight, which no one thought about, no one shouted out before, because no one really understands why a liar will feel delight.
Would you not also feel a bit of remorse with that, though?
Yeah, possibly, yeah. Yeah, but with remorse as well, it might not necessarily flash on the face like delight does.
But can all these things occur at the same time and not just happening in isolation?
Yeah, possibly. So we'll come to that later on about mixtures of emotions together. So again, so we're looking at delight here. Now then, how many of you are familiar with Dr. Paul Ekman's work on microexpressions? Like a lot. So delight can sometimes register on the face as the asymmetrical expression known as contempt or a smirk. Now we're talking about facial expressions. How many muscles are there in the human body, give or take? Any idea? How many of you are trained in anatomy and physiology? That's actually my background. Any idea how many muscles are there? 500, you're a doctor. We're on the spot there. Any idea? 656 working muscles in the human body. 206 bones. How many muscles are there on the face? Any idea? How many muscles on the face? Any idea? 50. Pretty good. 43. 43 muscles of the face. Capable of creating up to 10,000 different facial expressions, only 7 of which are universal. Wow. Contempt is a universal expression.
I think, you know, the smirk and the contempt can often display something else, though, because in children, for example, when they assume that face a lot, it's not necessarily because they're blind.
That's very true, yeah.
Quite often nervous.
That is very true, you make a very good point. What about detecting lies in children? Easy or hard?
Very easy.
Very easy, it is. Why is it very easy?
Because children are the level of naivety that don't have lies.
Yeah, that's pretty good, very good. Yeah, happy with that. So let's have a look at contempt. This guy has just stolen 50 quid out of the till. This young lady's getting the blame for it. So he's flashing us contempt. He's secretly got one over on us all, because his level of acting hasn't aroused suspicion in boss.
Is it like a game for them?
Possibly, it can be again, yeah. Quite a lot of the time, this kind of expression here can be seen in a social environment where white lies are played. My missus came home the other day, bought some new shoes, said they were £20. Very, very briefly. It's a very reliable indicator of deceit, especially, there you go, especially those white lies. Keep an eye out for this expression. It involves 2 major muscles, the zygomatic major here, and the buccinator muscle at the corner of the mouth, pulling the cheek wide. That's a very good lie. There you go, so keep an eye out for delight, sometimes called shooting delight.
Sometimes depending on the context that they're in.
It can, yeah, exactly right.
Could be chatting with a woman.
Exactly right, exactly. So he feels contempt, he feels really good about himself. So again, look for this kind of behaviour here. Very reliable indicator to deceit, the old contempt. So moving on. This is always a popular one. Myths surrounding lie detection. Blimey, right. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Have a look. Now, which of these 3 are reliable indicators of deceit? We've got long pauses before answers, higher pitch of voice, increased gaze aversion, nothing is looking away, micro-expressions, touching of the nose, slower speech, tapping with the fingers, and placing hands over hands and mouth. So, have a couple of minutes, and we'll talk at length about it. Ask about this. Pretty good. Right, so let's start with long pauses before answers. So let's come to the answers shortly. Hands up if you think that's a reliable indicator of deceit. Oh, we've got one down there, we've got one, we've got what about high pitch of voice? Does that indicate, oh, we've got quite a few. Increased gaze aversion, way, with one. Micro-expression. Very good. The nose, anyone? Slower rate of speech. Very good. Tapping with the fingers. Yes, very good. What about placing the old adapters? Ah, very good. Right, so I'm going to press a button now, and 3 of these are going to go red, so I'm going to wait for the go red. The first one, which an indicator of seat. Yes, higher pitch of voice. What's that in a minute? Higher pitch of voice. We've got slower rates of speech. And we've got one more. Which one is going to be? Micro expressions. Gaze aversion. Touching of the nose. Always gets wrong is increased gaze aversion. Now, why do liars not look away? Any ideas? Why do they not look away?
Because they think that that must be the obvious giveaway, so they're making a special
Wonderful, very, very good. Liars do not look away because they believe it's a sign of dishonesty. They believe that looking you in the eye is a sign of honesty. They will give you greater eye contact. Myth. No relationship exists between lie detection and increased gaze aversion. We're going to discuss why that is. Like we said before, liars will consciously engage in greater eye contact. It's commonly, but errors believe that direct eye contact is a sign of truthfulness. Looking away is actually already an indicator of honesty and truth, because a liar will purposely control his body language to make it look convincing and believable. Looking away is no good. Liars experience something called attempted behavioural control. They will try their very best to make a credible impression on you. Increased gaze aversion is a myth, but they still believe it's a sign of dishonesty, so they will not look away. They'll try to give you as much eye contact as you can. Another reason why they give you loads and loads of eye contact is because they want to gauge your verbal and non-verbal reaction. Are they deceiving you? That's why they give you so much eye contact. But again, no relationship exists between lie deception and gaze aversion, because gaze aversion has got so much other things going for itself. Some women, eye gaze behaviour is well rehearsed. Women use their gaze to attract males, persuade them into taking a course of action they might not otherwise have taken. Is that true? Oh my Lord! Absolutely right. And here's a prime example. That's my good lady, by the way. I know she's starting with me next day. Well, that's very good. What's she doing there? By the way, that is cat. Craig, can we have a puppy face? That's exactly right. Oh, very good. There you go. So the head goes down and the eyes go up. It's a very submissive gesture. Again, she's controlling the situation with her eyes, making herself very submissive. Again, it's a classic gesture and expression, facial expression used by Princess Diana. That's why the UK loved her so much, because she used to, one of her particular mannerisms was she used to drop the head down and keep the eyes up. That's what Kat's doing there. She's emotionally manipulating me with those eyes. It works all the time. Craig, can I come down with me instead of watching the football? She uses her eyes against me. It's got nothing to do with deceit. She's using her eyes against me. I fall for it every single time. So again, we're looking at eye contact myths. We're looking at controlled behaviour. Another reason why the eye gaze is not related to deception is because when people are embarrassed, they make less eye contact. If I were to trip and fall over that little stand there, I'm not going to give anyone any eye contact. Why is that? It's definitely embarrassed. Very good. We give greater eye contact to people when we're dealing with people who are perceived to be higher than us. My boss at work, I'm at work, I'm not doing a presentation, I give him loads of eye contact because it's a sign of respect. However, if I perceive someone beneath me, like if I'm a beggar or someone on the street comes up to me, I'll try to purposely avoid eye contact with it. We all do it. It's a classic indicator. If we perceive someone to be beneath us, we'll give them a lot less eye contact. And that's why eye behaviour's got nothing to do whatsoever with deception. And like we said before...
Is it that, or is it the fact that you don't want to be like them? You know, you just like you're not in that position.
Possibly, yeah, it's a social thing as well. But again, what eye behaviour's got nothing to do with deception. It's got everything to do with being embarrassed about how we deal with people, courteous and respectful. And that's why eye behaviour is a complete and utter myth. So if you learn one thing from me tonight, it's that eye behaviour has got no relationship with deception. So there you go. So that's our eye behaviour up top. There you go. Right, very good. Let's have a look at this picture now. So give you a couple of minutes, have a look what's happening in that transaction there. By the way, he was a Manchester United fan on Sunday. Very good. It's shame, yeah, very good. How do you know shame?
Covering his face.
Oh, yeah. Very good. What about this expression here? What's this guy saying? Possibly. Is that a comfort display or a discomfort display?
Bit of a smug display, it looks.
You think he's smug?
Yeah.
What about this kind of behaviour he's using here to comfort him? What's he doing? What are his fingers not doing? Yeah, he's not got his fingers attached to him here. Possibly indicates that he feels some kind of resentment towards him here. Again, we're seeing this little example here about how he places his hand not directly over to the side. So maybe these two had a bit of a fallout, he's trying to comfort him. We don't know. But again, we talk about eye-blocking behaviours. We block away things we don't like. We don't like the visual stimulus. I'm a big United fan. When City scored the winner, oh my Lord, hand straight to the eye. I don't like what I'm seeing. So keep an eye for these eye-blocking behaviours when you see someone who is visually upset or suffering from some kind of anxiety. So there you go. So that's eye contact sorted out. Let's have a look at touching of the nose. Why is that a myth? I don't like the nose. What did we say before about making a credible impression? Before, when I asked people to put their hands up about whether they thought touching of the nose was an indicator to see, or did you put your hands up? Okay, so myth. Liars don't necessarily know that, that's why they avoid it. There you go. And that is his nose before I go in. Okay, so we're looking at, there's no one associated sign of deception that's akin to Pinocchio's nose. Whenever he told a lie, his nose grew. There's nothing like that with us. So again, touching of the nose is a complete myth. Like what we said before, liars want to make an honest and credible impression on you. Touching of the nose will arouse suspicion in their target. They won't do it. Attempted behavioural control, they will not show that kind of nervousness if it's a high-stakes lie. If it's a white lie, do whatever they want, there's no ramifications, they'll get caught, there's no guilt, fear, or delight. There's no reason to do it. So there you go. So, we're talking about attempted behavioural control here from lying. Touching of the nose, again, will arouse suspicion. If you see touching of the nose, potentially a good sign, because the liar is not interested in making a credible impression on you, potentially because the stakes are not high. So let's start having a look at long pauses before answers. Now this is an indicator of deceit. What we're going to talk about later on is that there are more verbal than visual cues to deception. It may come as a big shock to you, but we'll talk about that more later on. Here we go. So this is a telltale sign of increased cognitive load. Now what does that mean? You're all students of NLP and behavioural change, things like what's increased cognitive load? Thinking too much. Now why would a liar have to think?
It's not true, you make it.
Yeah, you have to think about a lie. Very good. Why is it cognitively demanding to think about a lie?
Using all the variables and what comes line to take to be most.
Very good, yeah, excellent, yeah. Very good. So increase cognitive load, you would expect to see long pauses before answering because they're trying to think of something that's believable and convincing. If they've done something wrong, they need to conceal that fact. And if they have to think on their feet, if they've not already processed the lie in the brain, it's going to register with a long pause. Keep an eye out for this. This is a really good indicator of deceit. However, on the flip side, liars generally do not like to falsify lots of information. Why not? Absolutely. It's very difficult to remember which lie you told, who you told it to, who was involved, what time, who was there, blah, blah, blah. What liars like to do is tell the truth up to a certain point, skip over the bit they don't want to talk about, and then resume telling the truth again. This is called omission, lying by omission, or concealing. It's an example of what's known as a text bridge. Any of you have an example where someone tells the truth up to a certain point, skips over the bit they don't want to talk about, and then starts telling the truth again? Is that what you do? We all lie. Everyone lies. Is that the kind of behaviour you like doing? There's a deathly push. Someone's going to reveal a big lie. So obviously, so I do all the time sometimes. If I'm frustrated at work, I'll tell the truth up to a certain point, conceal what I don't want to talk about, and then resume telling the truth again. Because the lie itself isn't that cognitively demanding. I don't have to think of anything, I just miss that part. So again, so that is a really good indicator of deception. And this only works if the person hasn't thought about a lie already. If the person has got a lie that he's had time to work on, you might not necessarily see this. And again, if the lie is particularly small, it won't happen neither because the person will fire off. also a liar will try and get away from this part of the lie as much as they can and start remembering the truth. Because when you start remembering the truth, the good thing about the truth is you don't have to remember anything. That's what Mark's way to say. So again, so a long pausing before an answer is a really good indicator, a verbal indicator of deceit. Also, what's interesting to know, with increased cognitive load, it reduces behavioural animation. When we're really trying to think of something hard, it reduces our behavioural mannerisms. It reduces all those nervous kind of displays you'll think a liar experiences. This, gesture retreats, posture movements. So what are you looking for? When you're looking for long pauses before answers, you're looking for someone who's making very little movement. And again, you've got another indicator there that this person might be telling a lie. So did you know that? Did you know that when we really struggle to think about a lie that we haven't rehearsed, our behaviour massively reduces? Did you know that? There you go. So again, so a good one. Long pauses before answers, really big indication. So micro-expressions is a myth, amazingly enough. Now why are micro-expressions a myth when it comes to lie? It's actually just wonderful to show the life. So, micro-expressions are signs of concealed emotions which flash on the face. They're fleeting expressions, often subconscious and unconscious expressions. So when we were talking about micro-expressions before, and facial expressions, we said there's 43 muscles of the face capable of creating how many expressions? 10,000 facial expressions. And how many are universal? 7, very good. So let's reel off the 7 universal facial expressions. So let's start with the basic. What is a universal expression? Smug, well, contented. Happiness is universal. How do you register happiness on the face? Smile, very good. What's the opposite of happiness? Sadness. How do you register sadness on the face? Frown, yeah, corners of the mouth drop down, very good. Next one. Fear, excellent, fear. How do you register fear on the face? Very good, very good. Okay, what's linked to fear? Eyebrows going up?
Surprise.
Surprise, wonderful, yes. You've got fear and surprise, they're very much linked. Next one, what's another expression? Anger. Oh, God, think so. Yeah, very good. Yeah, so what's the opposite of anger sometimes? Yeah. What might lead to anger? If I had some rotting mackerel in here, what expression are you going to have? Disgust. Wonderful, very good. There's one more which we discussed before, which is contempt. So you've only got 7 expressions which are universal. So they show issues or tension. They're issue detectors. There's no relationship with deception with these. However, fake smiles do have a weak relationship with detecting deception. Now why is that? Why do weak smiles have a relationship, what we discussed before? What's one of the 3 emotional states of lying? What's smiling got to do with delight? Absolutely. So fake smiles do have a weak relationship with detecting deception. We talked before about contempt, the asymmetrical smirk, and getting one over on you. They'll never catch me out on a wonderful act. So lightning, who wants to show lightning? Did you enjoy it? Yeah, it was pretty good, very good. What let them down is they use too many micro-expressions in the show. Very unreliable. The only one that is reliable is the contempt. Asymmetrical expression on one side. So again, so we've got in mind. Wonderful. Now 10 points if you can spot who that lady is. You'll have absolutely no idea. Her name is Mariah Eater, and in November last year she accused none other than Justin Bieber of fathering her 4-month-old baby boy. So what expression do you see there? Very good. And guess what she said before she did that? You've got to believe me, I'm telling you the truth. So what does the body language suggest? Telling the truth? No. Would you flash that particular expression if you were telling the truth? What expression would you do when you're telling the truth? You don't believe me. Not the contempt, asymmetrical gesture here. And guess what? She was lying. The paternity test came back just to Bieber. Amazing enough, it wasn't the dad. So again, that's why fake smiles do have a relationship with deception, especially that little contempt smile, sometimes known as duping delight. So let's have a look at placing hands over the mouth. Now these are called adaptive, or sometimes they're called pacifying gestures. Anyone read Joan of Arc's book about detecting deception, the FBI guy? Yeah, you enjoy it? Yeah, very good. Yeah, great book. He talks about pacifiers when he's interviewing and analysing criminals. Again, placing the hands over the eyes and mouth is a myth because again we're talking about attempted behavioural control. Research tells us again there's no relationship, because a liar wants to appear credible, and doing this kind of behaviour is going to arouse massive suspicion. Again, so we're talking about here, this behaviour will arouse suspicion. Again, if you see anything like this kind of behaviour here, chances are they're going to be telling the truth because they're not concerned about the impression they're making. And that is what truth tellers do. Truth tellers are not concerned about what you think of them because they're full of themselves and telling you the truth.
Can't a good liar be aware of these things though?
Yeah, we're going to come to that. That's a very, very good point. So you're going to be great liars, you are. I really enjoyed that presentation, Chris. Again, we've got a big mix there as well. Higher pitch of voice, again, is an indicator of deceit. So again, the stress of lying increases tension in the vocal cords and tightens the vocal cords, a higher pitch of voice. This is one that a lot of people get. Do you often find that yourself when you're hearing someone on the phone who's telling you a big fat lie? Do you ever hear the voice? I do. When I lie, my voice, I can't control it. It doesn't me any. One of my best friends, Tony, his tell is a higher pitch of voice. The stress here just causes it to just raise slightly. Classic indicator of deceit. Keep an eye out for it. Again, this is another indicator of a verbal indicator of deceit, not a visual one. Keep an eye out for this one. Next time you ring your boss up, when you say, oh, I'm sick, I can't come in, what's wrong with you? I'm doing So there, classic indicator of deceit, which no one really understands. So listen, so listen to the pitch and the tightening of the vocal cords. You'd be amazed now if you understand this, you'd be able to listen to that change in intonation. It's a classic indicator, a classic giveaway. So nervous tapping of the fingers, again, we said before about when we're trying to really think about a lie, our behavioural animation massively reduces. The brain can't do too much things at once. If it's trying to create something on the spot which is both believable and consistent, it's going to reduce these kind of nervous behaviours which we all associate with lying and deception, but yet it is a complete and utter myth. So if you see nervous tapping of the fingers, it's not an indicator of deceit. What we've got here is a picture for you as well. So there you go. So tapping of the fingers is commonly thought to be a guilty action, therefore liars will control their behaviour so not to arouse suspicion. Again, we're talking about high stakes lies. There's a threat of punishment. Anything like that, a guilty person might not necessarily do this. So keep an eye out for nervous tapping of the fingers, no relationship with deception. Look at another area. Bypass this one. Slower rate of speech, again what we said before. Heavy cognitive load. If a liar is having difficulty remembering what they've said, it's going to come out in the rate of speech, which you will miss because you'll be focusing on things that have no relationship. You'll be looking for the gaze aversion. You'll be looking for the nervousness, the touching, the gestural retreats, the fidgeting, and you'll miss the actual indicators because you're so associated with body language being an integral part of lying and deception, and it is not. There are more verbal than visual cues to deceit, and slower rates of speech, again, is an indicator there's a conflict going on in the brain. They're having difficulty remembering or concealing or falsifying the information. Keep an eye out for that. Another classic indicator is the slower rate of speech. Like I said before, the good thing about the truth is you don't have to remember anything. Another classic way of getting a liar is to ask them the story again, but in the reverse order. The good thing about the truth is you don't have to remember anything. I can tell you what I did yesterday, backwards, upside down, left, right, anything. If I had add a little bit in there where I said conceal or maybe falsify something, and I was asked to replay it backwards, I haven't a clue. Because liars rehearse the story in one order, not backwards. So if you're having difficulty with someone who you think is telling you an absolute porker, ask them to repeat it backwards. Just say, I believe you, just say it backwards, just so I know. And then watch how they struggle. And you're watching for signs that they're struggling. Watch for speech hesitations.
But if that's the first time someone's done it anyway, how's he going to struggle anyway?
No. I reckon you can tell me everything you did yesterday.
Yeah, I feel on the spot now.
In the spot, there you go, that's the realised. So again, so you're looking at things like this. So slower rate of speech is a good indicator. So again, if you're having difficulty with a liar, ask them to repeat it backwards. They'll struggle. The good thing about the truth is you don't have to remember anything. Really good indicator. Okay, so let's move on. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. Have a look at this one. This is a classic one. I'm not going to cover too much language here because it does get quite heavy with cognitive loads. We'll break it down a bit. Have a couple of minutes. Have a look here. and then tell me what you think. I'll come back and when you think you're doing this, so like, have a look at this, tell me what you think.